Good morning, Bears. All right, we're going to get a little arts and craftsy today. Do a little visual learning while we model and create our own Earth's climate zone. But first, let's dive into somebody that's very successful in his slideshow, and that would be Ethan. Look at Ethan here. Ethan is on track, as he always is. Always good to have a cat in your slideshow. As a matter of fact, I've got a cat right here. Hello. Look, Prince, there's a kitty. Oh, yes. 6 a.m. alarm rings. Mine went off at 5 today because I'm going to go have a little adventure this morning, get a little workout in before we teach. So I'm doing my video early. 6 o'clock exactly right now. 2 hours later, still me. That's not me. I'm up and at 'em. Good job, though, Ethan. I like interesting, fun kickoff slides. Feel free to do those. Don't forget to put your name there. Look at Ethan. He has his hot and cold. He heated up his simulator. This is great, Ethan. Good job, buddy. Now, this is a simulation, but it's also a model now that it's a picture. You can see where the heat is, the cold is in different areas. You're going to do a version of this today. Love this, Ethan. Good job, buddy. What is the climate of Los Angeles? The climate of Los Angeles is a year-round, mild to hot, and mostly dry climate for the LA metropolitan area in California. The climate is classified as the Mediterranean climate, which is a type of dry subtropical climate. Nice. Good, Ethan. Remember, that was a Mandy. Alicia was asking, what are we supposed to do on any given day? Go to groups. You will see that on Monday, this was what you had to do. Yesterday, you had to move this up, add a picture. It's a beautiful image. I'd make it a little bigger, but, I didn't want to do that. Make that a little bigger. We can all play with that. Graphic organized. This is also a model. You will make something like this today for the Earth, getting good at creating your own objects. So notice, blue transfers energy. It's green, goes green, green to blue. They just are representing how energy transfers, which is what we're going to talk about today a little bit. How does the energy in the sun and the heat move around the Earth? We're going to dive into that. Can't get it all done today, but we're going to get an idea. Here's another idea of a model. You guys are going to make something like this today, your own little mini version. It'll be a simple version, but it should help you understand the concepts. Notice, how do we know what orange and red means? I would think red means hotter, but I also know that the equator is hotter, which is along this line. So I have to come down to their scale, and they show here the average versus 1953 and 1978 baseline Celsius. That's interesting. That looks like they're saying that's hotter, but it doesn't seem to make sense. So we have to dive into that scale and find that out. What are the oranges? +1. Oh, they're showing the temperature change. Look, temperature change. So that's why whenever you do it, take a test, take time to look what it says. So the change in temperature is +4 in the North Poles. But the North and South Pole are actually way hotter than the middle. So this is a kind of an interesting map, the way they did that. What is energy? In physics, the capacity to do work. It means energy can move things. Energy can heat things. It can be potential, kinetic, thermal, electrical, chemical, nuclear, or various forms. I don't think we've covered that yet. In the old way I taught, we would do this by now. Hopefully that's coming. I think we did kinetic for sure. We've definitely done thermal. I just don't know if we've done the other three. Anyway, good job. Now we learn as we go from Ethan's slideshow. Temperature is how you just measure, in a way, energy, right? It's a temperature. So we learned a lot about temperature in our thermal unit. And then he's moved up. See, now he has his original slides. He does not need to keep these. So Ethan, you can delete these if you want, because he's turned them into these. Notice that. So he turned this into this. Much better. That's how you get good grades. You're upgrading your concept slides. That's a basic thing anybody can do to keep your grade at a C and even a B if you participate in class. Then you start writing your own things. You create other Mandys and do all the work for an A or a B. Good job, Ethan. All right, now we're going to scroll right on down over here to lesson 3 is what we're diving into today. Lesson 3, but we're not going to use much of the slides. Now you can review these slides. There's lots of fun stuff. you can use these to help you. They have a model that I played with and found it lackadaisical and not that great. So we're going to make our own little model. I think it's more fun. But let's talk about what we are focusing on. So far we know that the energy from the sun is transferred to the Earth's surface, and some of that energy is then transferred to the air above the surface. Energy comes down, energy goes up. We did see in our sim that if the air gets to be the same temperature or higher than the Earth's temperature, the air can actually transfer energy back into the Earth. But at first surface, then to air. This tells us how energy from the sun can warm the air, but does not explain why different locations have different air temperatures. What are they talking about, locations? Locations on Earth. Why do different locations have different air temperatures? That's what we're going to explain in our own model today. You will work with a partner to study two maps. We're going to just show our maps later due to the Zoom environment and talk to each other about these models. Now, I want you to use these models to help you make yours. Let's think about what each map shows. The bar at the bottom is a key. It shows temperatures ranging from -50 to 30 degrees Celsius. Remember, this is different than Fahrenheit. In Celsius, 0 is freezing water, 100 is boiling water. So 30 degrees Celsius is pretty hot, but it's not boiling. Now check it out. Now this key is different. This is more what I was thinking of when you have red. It's the hottest part of the planet. That other key we looked at was showing temperature change. Very important concept, and if you ever take a test or trying to figure something out, take a minute to figure out what the key is, what the map is showing you. So this is our global air temperature. This is one of the things you are going to show in your own little model that you're going to create today. We want to show the hot areas of the Earth and the cold areas of the Earth and the in-between, and we want to talk a little bit about climate. The colors of the bar correspond. We just said that. Location close to the equator are warmer. The equator is here. You're going to mark that on your map. You have to mark the equator. Away from the equator are colder. So you're going to mark those zones in your video. Here's another type of map. The key for this map shows the areas that receive the most energy from the sun are orange, and the areas with the least energy from the sun are white. You might want to mark that. I listed in groups what you need to mark on your model. Notice the equator, most energy starts with the orange here, yellow right above it, next here, and then the least energy is the white. Hello, more energy, more heat. That makes sense for this. This is the main concept we're trying to get today. How does the information from both maps give us evidence about why different locations have different temperatures? Hello, more sun, more heat, less sun, less heat. Now we will get into the wind and things like that, and we do of course have a concept today. So I want you to move this concept to the top. The distance of a place north or south of the equator. So what does the latitude mean then? If the equator's here, latitude is like, let's say this, we did this in steps. Well, I'm 10 steps up latitude. The way I remember latitude is, for some reason latitude seems like flat to me. And so like long across the earth, latitude, long. And then, well, there's longitude too. So that's can get you confused. But latitude is lateral, is the word I usually think of. Lateral is like a lateral configuration. So those lines go this way, but the lines go this way to measure up and down. Because, oh, I'm 3 lines up. So that you have to use latitude lines to measure up and down. Longitude lines, they go down the earth like this, but you need those to measure around, to go this way. So it's a little confusing because the line is the opposite of what you're measuring because you need it to measure. So you have this little line like a ladder climbing. How high can I climb the ladder? If the longitude lines, which go up and down, oh, I'm going to run across the field or run across the earth this way, I need the football lines to tell me, oh, I went 10 yards, 20 yards. So latitude lines, longitude lines, so it can get confusing. Move that to the top, add a picture. Latitude lines are imaginary, so you would never actually see them except on a map. The equator is the line that represents 0 degrees latitude. Hottest point on the earth, 0. Notice the measurements. Very good. Now, we're not going to get into that too much right now. Like I said, this goes down to a model. And here's the model we are going to do ourselves. We're going to create a top slide. We're going to watch a video. You're going to get information about climate. And then we're going to dive into this slide. So let's go watch our video first, and then we'll talk about modeling. Let's do this. The video link is in groups as usual. And it's a pretty good one. Here we go. Great little video. Nice overview of climates. Now, if you see those climates, you saw one that really jumps out at you, then I want you to put that in your model. So what are we going to do for our model here? You can get rid of these text boxes if you want. Sometimes you don't need them. And we are going to use our shapes. Well, if I'm making the earth, you can do an oval shape. There's different things to go, but a circle might work. Notice, I can make it like the maps. I can make it more circular. You want it to be big enough to show different areas. And what we're going to do here, don't forget, we have arrows. We have scribbles. We have arrows. We have lines. So say you show your climate zone, you want to do an arrow, you can do that. Don't forget, you can line start. You can make it wider. You can make dotted lines, line colors. Oh, I like red. So we can play with some arts and crafts to create a model of the earth. Model of the earth. And what do we need on that model of the earth? Well, I've created a little list for you over here. I want you to mark. Mark just means put it on your earth. Watch your lesson. We're going to do that. Watch climate video. We're doing that. We're going to use tools from the slide. Now, if you know how to use Canva, there's tons of these great little creative digital CGI computer-generated images, tools on the internet. If you know one of those, you can always go make your model somewhere else and copy and paste it. So we want to mark the hot zones, the cold zones, the equator, the North Pole, the South Pole, and pick one climate zone. What this is going to do for you is once you know where the equator is, oh, I need an equator. Well, that's a line. Come up and get your little line. Where's the equator? Across the center of the earth. Okay? It's going to help you understand the sun's heat. Now, maybe you want to put the sun because suns are fun to have. So maybe I want to do a half sun is what I'd like. Right up in the earth up there. Maybe you want to have the sun, but I don't know why I did a half sun. I'd probably do a ball next time, but I don't know. Maybe if you wanted the sun over like that, make it yellow, show the rays of the sun hitting the earth, but maybe the sun needs to be over here. You get the idea. Build your own model of earth, showing us basically, here's an example of one. Remember, this map is not a good representation because this is showing temperature change. So we want to come down to the ones that are more like what we want to build, which are way down here, like these. So these are the good ones you can use to help build your model, showing where the sun hits, showing the heat of the earth. And then don't forget to pick one climate change from the video or something you know about. It could be LA. Now, you don't have to do the earth all perfect, like the continents and things. But if you want to, if you're really creative, you could. You could say, well, I want to make something down here. There's ways to have fun to make different shapes, but I'm just playing around. So it's an arts and crafts day, showing the heat of the earth. Alicio and everybody else, directions are always in groups. We don't do everything in the slideshow. We just do what I have in groups. All right, let's get going. Get creative. Get artistic. Don't forget to use colors. You know how to use colors, right? You can fill things, background, layer, theme, transition. Where's the color in here? There is a color somewhere, but you can find it on your own. You guys should know how to do this. Tools. So there's definitely a way to add colors, and if you open your box and things like that. All right, add your colors, show the heat, show the different climate zones, pick one, call it something. So if you're doing Mediterranean, make sure to label it. Label some things like the sun, you could label that, bring your sun back in. All right, let's do this. Creative day. Have a good day, everybody.